Right, hello and welcome to a slightly different video. As you can see by the title, we're going to be taking a little look at something that's actually recently been released, and that is the Jeffrey Epstein files. However, as I'm sure a lot of you know, a lot of it has been redacted unsuccessfully, but that's obviously, that's a discussion for another time, sort of. Obviously some genius failed to redact them all properly. It's quite easy. You don't have to be part of Anonymous or a serial hacker to be able to do this. It's just a simple copy and paste job. So nice one, US government. Anyway, as I was saying, this video is actually slightly different. Obviously, depending on if you guys enjoy this. However, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hopefully I can do some more stuff like this in the future. Anyway, moving on to the topic, we're going to be looking at, obviously, Mr. Ep over here. Now, it's going to also be a little bit, disturbing for some viewers, so slight trigger warning for the following stuff, so continue at your own risk. Anyway, the Epstein files, obviously, have just been released, with, obviously, 90% of them being redacted. I think we got 1% actually viewable, as opposed to the 80-90% that was actually redacted. So brilliant job. We got less than 0.1% of the Epstein files. But nonetheless, some of the stuff they actually did get released, and you can see is obviously very disturbing. Proves there's a lot of evidence against Mr. Epstein. What the fuck is that? Which I'm sure none of us were surprised against. I mean, I didn't think a lot of us thought he was a national treasure. The redactions kind of prove that what we weren't supposed to see, and they obviously failed at that. But can you imagine the stuff that we really aren't supposed to see and haven't seen? Can you imagine some of the stuff on there? It's gonna be horrifying. Anyway, getting into the first kind of how this kind of release started, I guess. I believe it was one of Epstein's victims was the first whistleblower. Actually reported Epstein to the FBI and the NYPD. It's believed to be around 1996, because Epstein had allegedly, now I'm gonna say allegedly before I get absolutely taken the fuck out, but Epstein had allegedly sold explicit pictures to his friends over on his island of people not old enough to do so, if that makes sense. Anyway, he then said he'd do something horrible. I mean, a lot of this I can't really say, but he basically threatened to do some pretty nasty stuff if she told anybody. So that alone is pretty damning. Anyway, shock horror. The FBI and NYPD and most authorities actually ignored this, which is pretty sick. Anyway, Epstein obviously continued to victimize a lot of people. The list of fucking things that this bloke fucking did, it's beyond beggars belief. From the time it's taken, we all had a pretty good fucking understanding. I mean, it says here, Epstein actually went as far as checking girls' IDs to make sure they were underage. That is actually, that is quote unquote apparently what it says here, which is absolutely, beggars belief, mental. He also kept this really fucking creepy scrapbook with pictures. I believe this is in the files actually, the ones leaked. So I'm gonna say I put a link, but I probably won't put a link. But it's pretty easy to find. Go have a look for yourself if you want to. Obviously, viewer discretion is advised. Personally, for me, I don't even know how the fuck one human can actually do this stuff. It's absolutely mental, especially with the name this guy had, the stature, and some of the people that were on this island. I mean, that's another thing we'll be looking at is the names on here. Jesus Christ. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, more stuff released, like text messages. All your stuff not redacted. However, the most damning and shocking thing, so the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, actually said there's no credible evidence of trafficking in the files. I mean, to the average Joe, it's pretty obvious that there absolutely is. Okay, yeah, it doesn't take fucking Jimmy Neutron to figure this one out. But yeah, according to Cash over here, there was nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on here. Mental. I mean, the funny thing is, whatever they do, they just cannot shake this. I mean, you had all sorts of things with, I think Cash went on Joe Rogan, and he had a few things to say, obviously playing it down. You had Trump calling it a hoax. Again, it's just, how can someone do that? How can you call it a hoax when it is 90%? I mean, almost, it's 100% sure. That man was a wrong un. That man was a fucking wrong un, right? However, it doesn't stop there with Trump. His whole administration had to, hit it with a little damage control. They started calling every influencer to beg them to stop talking about the fast and do their best to kind of play it down. Even Alex Jones admitted to getting a call. He said the administration called him and asked him what it would take to get him to shut up about it. Tim Dillon, he didn't just get a call, he got free seafood dinner with JD Vance. I mean, it's just, what can you even do? It's actually ridiculous at this point. I mean, they're pushing people to have dinner with the fucking vice president, and I mean, it's just, yeah, what the I mean, what is ironic is JD Vance clearly wants this to go away, because a few years ago he said, what would the US government have, what interest would they have in keeping the Epstein files secret? I mean, why? I mean, clearly, it's pretty clear why people would want it released. I mean, unless old JD is a bit shady, then I think you'd want them released pretty swiftly. However, older Vance over there doesn't really seem like he gets the memo. He's not really on the same page, is he? Anyway, the bottom line is all the damage control that all these sort of organizations are trying, it doesn't seem to be working. Obviously, I mean, that's kind of like valid. Who would expect that to work? It's going to happen. People aren't gonna. It's not just gonna go away, swept under the rug. Although multiple people, I think, are kind of getting a bit like tired with the relentlessness of this suppression. I mean, people are seeing names like Bill Clinton saying, "Oh, we got Bill Clinton. I mean, his life's over. All right, great, go after Bill Clinton then." But we all know that's just not going to happen, along with a lot of other people. I mean, I don't think any of these people. It's one big club they're all part of. It's not nothing's actually going to come of this. And personally, for me, it's just stupid. I think even pushing for this is just a waste of time, because, you know, what hope do people like, you know, your regular everyday person have against these big organizations and clubs who just absolutely squash you like a little bug? Going back to some of the files and the allegations, some of the alleged victims were as young as 11. You know, and the girls in some of these pictures, you can't see their faces, they're blocked out obviously, but they look so young, man. It's crazy. I mean, hopefully someone makes a file on the unredacted stuff. I mean, you can do it for yourself at home if you really want. As I said, it's just a case of copy and pasting. Sadly, my fingers won't withstand that, but I'm sure someone will make it at some point. However, I did see recently that after this whole unredaction, they're actually trying to delete some of the files because they basically failed at redacting it, especially ones with Trump in it, which obviously shows something shady going on here, even more than everyone thought. So for me, you can't win. You can't win with no power and no money like everyone else, and not in some great big club. You can't win. What I would say though is there's a lot of people who actually are on the list and have taken pictures. I mean, if you go on the official, I say official, I don't mean official, but if you go on there where the files are released, there's actually a tab where you can toggle the people on there, and I'm pretty sure Einstein's on there, but he's not actually on there. It's just a picture of him. You know, you don't have to be a genius to figure out Einstein's fucking dead. But yeah, a lot of people on the files aren't actually, you know, wrong-uns. But, you know, there's pictures of David Copperfield and Bill Clinton. They're the ones who probably look the worst. There's a few other ones with Chris Tucker, Mick Jagger, Kevin Spacey. I mean, Kevin Spacey already admitted to being on Epstein's private jet with some young girls. I mean, your question is, why the hell were there young girls on this flight anyway? Which it says, I mean, yeah, it's just all a bit gross. Do you know what's funny is the amount of people who are on this list, and obviously I'm not gonna say all of them are wrong-uns, but most of them, a lot of the people who are on this list and who probably have done something pretty dodgy, like Mr. Epstein over here, you know, all of them will engage in everything that went on until, you know, all this stuff comes out and it's a time of, oh, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe I got involved with this with you, blah blah blah. And almost to conclude this, I almost think the saddest part is that the little power that everyone other than, you know, big figures and people that ultimately should be role models, but they can't be because they're doing messed up things and defending messed up people. I think that's kind of the hardest part about it, is, you know, how powerless everyone is. There is some hope with this unredaction, or files that can be unredacted. You know, they could be a big turning point in terms of you can't deny something that's literally right in front of you. So, you know, fingers crossed that something actually comes of this. However, I don't believe it will. You know what the government are like. Defend. Sad reality of life, unfortunately. There are good things coming though. For example, this channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell, and like the video if you did enjoy, because there'll be more of this content if you like it, if people enjoy it coming out. I don't know if this is a bit deep for people. Feel free to let me know. I actually love to know, because I can improve them, although I would like to do something of this sort. But yeah, as I said, let me know and we'll see what we can do. Anyway, for this video, that is all. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.